Now, the problems that I see with the PFL, there's a couple of them, and I want to stress this just right out the gate that I don't want them to fail. I want the PFL to have success and flourish moving forward, because I think that's what's most important for the space and the sport in general is the competition. If there's not a strong number 2 to push the number 1, the number 1 just kind of middles, and just they get stagnant and comfortable. And I don't think that we want the UFC to get comfortable, and I'm not saying that they are, but competition is best for everyone involved. The promotion, the fighters, the fans. That's what we need in the sport, okay? So let's just get that out, push that aside. I'm not here to see you guys fail. I'm saying this stuff, so hopefully you see it and you can make some adjustments from a fan's perspective. Hopefully you understand. To start, you guys have no relationship with like any influencers or younger audience, or not that I'm necessarily aware of, and that's kind of tough, because I'm not saying you got to go in the Nina drama route. I think that's her name, the Nina girl that does all the UFC interviews. I used to watch her Strickland ones because Strickland's hilarious, and I try to catch some of them, but she's not necessarily my favorite. Nothing against her, but a lot of people don't necessarily like that, okay? I'm not saying you got to go in that route. You don't even have to go in the route of the Nelk Boys either. But you almost have all of your content behind a paywall on OnlyFans, other than some of the free things that you do post on your channels on Bellator and PFL. And personally, you're kind of posting the same thing on both of them. So where's the motive for new fans to want to subscribe or pay attention to either of them? It kind of makes almost no sense in the same way, where I understand the way that you're pushing the cards, but you're using both of them as a promotion mechanism. And it's a little tough when fans signed up for Bellator and now they're getting PFL content and vice versa. You get what I'm saying? So it's a little difficult from a fan's perspective in that way. And if you were to grow in the younger audience, influencers, and get a way to grow the fan base somehow, instead of trying to pull UFC fans just to see another product for MMA, if you kind of got your own fans and tried to garnish those, then that's a little bit of a different way to go about it. You get what I'm saying? And you're going to grow on your own organically. And again, maybe I haven't seen it and you guys have tried it, and maybe I just didn't really, catch it and it didn't work out, and that's why you guys hadn't tried it again. I don't know. But there's a reason Dana has a foothold on the younger audience with Nelk, with getting Nina, allowing some of these influencers to come in, make content, and etc. Shit like that. Not a paywall on OnlyFans, because that makes no sense. Now, even though you might have acquired Bellator and your fights have improved, if you haven't seen me talk about the first 3 events for this season, go ahead and check that out on my channel. And I compared the first 3 events this year to the first 3 events of last year, the different finish rates and different events and different divisions and weight classes and things like that. But your product has not improved. The fights may have improved, but the product, you have so much dead air. And then when it does cut to an analyst or whatnot, they're standing like this until they talk. I mean, Tyron Woodley and Randy Couture, even Greg Hardy, or not Greg Hardy, Dan Hardy, or who, I always mix them up. Regardless, I don't know, there's nothing to them. It's very, oh yeah, and then I have full respect for them in the octagon and what they've done for the sport, but dude, let's open up a little bit. Let's be a little more personable and not so. It makes no sense to me. I'll watch it and point it out and see, look, and show my girlfriend, and she's like, yeah, it's kind of odd. She's someone that clearly doesn't watch the sport like I do. She's only watching it because I'm pointing it out to her, and she sees the discrepancy and the difference. And even between commercial to the point of what I was saying with the analyst standing there like a robot, it's a lot of dead air. They'll just show the arena and there's nobody in the arena. If you don't have that many people at the event, don't show the arena on dead air, and then you have live mics where they're talking shit. I think the last event, they talked about a fighter who previously tested hot, who then won, and they talked about him doing steroids this time or whatever the case was. I don't remember exactly, but there was a couple times on the live air, or the dead air, I should say, that they had live Okay, and that's such a problem because even with ONE FC, they will run highlights over and over, and they have a highlight package. Or the UFC will run a promo package, or they'll have their analysts like Joe or Michael Bisping, John Anik, or DC, or whomever is on, or Dominic Cruz, or even Lorisenko. Whoever is on the panel, they will at least talk and be knowledgeable and be personable, where they are very open with the people, and it's not very robotic and there's dead air and then out of nowhere they come back and they talk like this and they legitimately hold their hand like this or whatever for like 5 minutes. That's not a natural movement. I'm sorry, but we have to have some personability. I mean, there's a clear reason that everyone grew to love Joe Rogan, because he was personable and he was just who he was on camera, being himself. And I'm not saying that's just an easy get, but at least watch your fucking content to see that back so you can understand, okay, maybe there's a disconnect here. Okay, we might be putting on better fights, and we might get this camera angle and we might have a camera angle from our glasses, but what are we missing? We're missing the person connecting with the fans on the live event, being knowledgeable about the fighters. Some of them seem very disinterested in even the fighters that many people don't even fucking know about. Like, let's be honest. Like, let's open it up. Let's talk about their history. You know, let's research their career. I don't know. I wish, because again, I'm such a fan of the sport and I'm such a fan to want to grow this sport. You know, I'm not a fighter, so I'm a fan making content to talk about it, but I would love to see it because competition is so important. Again, the fighters win, the fans win, and the promotions win because the gates are going to be higher. The pay-per-views are going to be better. You get what I'm saying? Like, I do not understand how they have not caught on to that at least. There's so much dead air between fights, and I wish that was not the case. And I think that's where they lose a lot of people. It's like low production for that. Like, don't get me wrong, camera angles are cute, okay? The banner you got of the different stats and live things and live betting, you get what I mean? Like, that's cool. The smart cage, you know, there's some differences and nuances that you're bringing that I totally understand, and I would love if you just consistently capitalized on those things and maybe didn't kind of handicap yourself. You could do much more with what you have. It's not that hard. I totally understand, you know, you're going to have to open it up and do a lot more, and that's going to be difficult. But if you really think about it, putting together a promo package to run of highlights of fighters that are happening on that card, or past cards or future cards or different things like that to showcase the fighters, that's what you need to do. That's what you really need to do, personally. I'm sorry. But that's such a big thing for me when I watch your content, the last 3 events, and even last year, a lot of dead air. Okay, and I am watching on ESPN Plus. I am. I'm not, no bullshit. I'm watching on ESPN Plus. There's a lot of dead air. So I'm sorry. Let's go past that one because this might be a long video. This is one that makes no sense to me. Absolutely no sense to me. And it kind of pisses me off because how are you guys going to be in strong number 2, a number 2, anything if there's no US audience? Okay, and I'm not saying, hey, it's all about the USA, and I totally understand that the whole world is a global fucking market, and I'm totally in agreement, okay? But when you cater to every single market but the USA, I believe that there's a fucking problem, okay, personally, because PFL Europe, PFL MENA, whatever PFL thing that you bring up or a new event that you bring, there's no way to watch it in the USA. And I totally understand. Last season was the first season they did it, and this year they tried to put on the free event on YouTube live stream. But like, how are we not already on top of this? How? That makes no sense. How are you missing out on the USA as a whole fucking market, where when I go to your social media, it's, why can't I watch the fight in the USA? I want to see the fights. PFL MENA just happened a couple days ago. I couldn't even tune into it, but I saw every highlight that your social media team posted. I believe as a fan, that is absolutely dog shit. That makes no sense. It makes fucking no sense. Now, if you guys can fix that, let's start marketing in the USA a bit more. Even though I understand the UFC has a foothold, but you need to still have them. You do not want to ignore us. That makes no sense to me. Why would you ignore one of the biggest markets of all fucking time? Now, there's that. Younger influencers and audience in general, you need to grow your own team. If you guys were to do that, that'd be fucking great. Then I'm not even talking about me personally, just in general, like getting in with the fighters, having them setting up interviews, getting them on media more. You get what I mean? Like, that's just more important. I know Ariel might have some PFL fighters every now and again, but like, dude, you can't rely on one fucking guy, all right? And then improving the dead air. I think dead air is so fucking like important because you're missing out on your audience retention in my opinion, okay? So if I'm tuning in for a fight happens for 5, 10 fucking minutes, 15 minutes, 25, whatever, okay? Let's just say. Then you're having dead air for 5 to 10 minutes. What am I going to do? What am I watching? I'm watching nothing. So as a fan, I might tune out. I might not watch the next fight. You know what I mean? But me personally, I'm a fight fan, so clearly I am. But as a casual person, you might not catch the next fight. Let's just have some more promotion. Tell them who these fighters are. I don't understand how we're not putting packages together to then promote these fighters way more than you already are. Paywall on OnlyFans? Like, come on, dude. Behind a paywall on OnlyFans. That's ridiculous. Let me know what you guys think down below. Also, I actually, last thing, the Bellator matchups that the PFL new team or whatever have put together, and it's almost like a ton of rematches from Bellator on their new seasonal. It's kind of hilarious because I saw a lot of that on their social media page as well. Absolutely no research, I guess, in that department, but hey, look, I just don't understand, and I would love for the competition to be way better than it is, so please do not take what I said as an insult, but take it as constructive criticism to improve your product, because I would like to see you guys be a strong number one. Not take over the UFC. I really don't care, okay? I'm not really in that department. But push the UFC. Push these other promotions. I know you have Bellator too and whatever. But being able to keep the competition, growing the sport for the fighters, the fans, and the promotions, I think that's what's important for everyone involved. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you in the next one.